and welcome to BeanTalk. Today is our first real show, and for that first show, we have a treat for you. We have an interview with two really big names from the coffee industry. Yannis Apostolopoulos, who is the CEO of the Specialty Coffee Association and a board director for World Coffee Events and the Coffee Science Foundation, and Luigi Morello, who has been working in the coffee industry for over 30 years for Gruppo Cimbali. He used to be on the board of the SCA, and now he is the president of the Istituto Espresso Italiano. Luigi, Yannis, it is a real honor to have you here on our show. Welcome, and I'd say let's get right into it. Yannis, let's start with you. What is the purpose, what's the goal of your organization?
So, let me speak about Specialty Coffee Association. So the reason that we exist is, as we say, like 4 words: to make coffee better. And that's 3 words actually. It's to make coffee better. And what does that mean? It means that we foster a global coffee community to support activities to make coffee a more equitable, sustainable, and thriving activity for the entire value chain. So actually SCA is there to support that global coffee community, that network of people and companies, professional individuals in coffee and companies in coffee, that they believe on the same vision of trying to make coffee better by actually making the value chain more equitable, as I said, sustainable, and make the whole activity a more thriving activity. So I think this is the purpose that we exist.
And Luigi, how about you? What is the purpose and what's the goal of the Istituto Espresso Italiano?
Our aim is to develop and to spread the espresso culture, so the culture of the espresso Italiano, all around we can say the supply chain, coming from already the roasted beans to the end user. So what we are, we can say, very much focus in teach, so in teach and explain the culture in what is it espresso, and also to involve the end user, so in order to pay attention about the quality in the cup. All the activities are around the cup of espresso. That is, we can say, the goal from the roaster till the end user.
The coffee industry is fast growing. So how have the values you touched upon changed, and how have you as organizations had to adapt to that?
Even though the espresso is not very old, so the coffee is not very old, espresso is very young, because espresso is only 100 years old. So the espresso burn at the early 900. So in these 100 years, the espresso developed very much. And then all the journey is an Italian journey from the technology also to the blends was developed in Italy. And then the coffee was, of course, as it is, the coffee is a raw material always in under development. And also the consumption is different. The people are different. So the habits of the people are different. Also, the coffee is evolving. So, and we as a association, but also as all people around the espresso world are oriented in order to create to understand the rules and to apply the rules in order to have a consistency for the end user who is drinking the coffee. That is all, if you like, the effort behind the espresso is to keep consistency. And this consistency and the difficult and the experience of the espresso is, in order to keep this consistency in the cup, there is the experience in selecting different kind of beans, mixing these kind of beans, and in order to keep the taste that is very strong. As well, the technology is supporting the beans in order to create the right quality in the cup. So then as well the coffee was developing, as well the technology, the people, and there is we can say it is we can say this long journey, if you like.
I would say from the specialty coffee perspective, things has evolved over the years. I think it has been a journey where it started from the passion of people to find better coffees and better flavors in their coffees, to actually understanding how much inequality exists in the coffee value chain, given that coffee, like cocoa, is I would say the epitome of colonialism when it comes to commodities. And it started from that journey that people also realized, okay, we need to have an impact on the livelihoods of many people that are cultivating coffee. So it all started from the journey to find a better taste for coffee, but also to help a lot of people. And as this journey was happening, people realized, okay, there are a lot of things that we can impact in the value chain, and there are a lot of things that we can change. The quality of coffee, the quality of the cup was a motivation for people to actually go and try to produce better coffees, and for baristas and coffee shops to offer a better cup of coffee to the consumer. But that better cup of coffee had a value which wasn't that the value that you were paying for that coffee, was the value that the roasters were paying the producers for that better coffee, was the non-monetary value about appreciation and treating people with dignity on the value chain. And I think this is something that evolved as the society is evolving, and we have much better understanding in science when it comes to sensory science, and also to, I would say, the science and how the society has evolved in transparency when it comes to how the value chain is formed.
I also have to say that we can say if you permit, just to add, Yannis, also what specialty coffee was very good in involving all the value chain on it, to really transfer this value and to bring this value to the world, and to let the people understand very much about the problem that is facing the coffee community. And this is, I think, it play a great job and role for all the world, not only for the coffee producer, but also for all the coffee lovers, for all, we can say, the people involved, because they were the first understanding and communicating and pushing and developing all this value around that was missing. Now it become in the worth of everybody. But at the beginning, it was only the specialty coffee promoting and pushing about this value, and especially the sustainability.
Yeah, I think specialty coffee is the one that pushes the boundaries, and the coffee industry follows, because there has been also that recognition from everyone, like from the baristas, that they were trying to convey the message to consumers. Like that's why a lot of effort has been put in the barista community and the roasters community, as they were trying to convey that to the consumers and try to have that, to play that role of educator for the coffee consumers in our industry.
With the capacity to involve people, because that is also,
exactly,
I think,
people is A and Z.
Yes, absolutely. And that was also, that's why it became, if you like, very famous in a very short time, because they were able to involve everybody in the chain, even though if the supply chain is long, but that was the capability and the ability to involve, to communicate, and to involve everybody. So,
what challenges do you see for the future?
So there are many problems that coffee is facing, and that is climate change, that is, I would say, the economic change that we see around us. We see a lot of younger generations leaving coffee farms, going to the cities to work. Like there is that shift where we have elderly population or eldering population within the coffee industry when it comes to producers. So there are a lot of things that are significant in the long-term sustainability of coffee. And I would say that climate change is not just an issue for coffee. It's a very important issue, because we see it in like diseases. We see like the way that coffee is also, if we see like maps in Brazil, how coffee has started being cultivating in different areas because of the climate change, and areas that like 20 years ago they were producing a lot of coffee, today they don't produce coffee.
Yeah.
So I think those are important issues, and the industry is trying to address them. So there are many initiatives. World Coffee Research is one initiative that is trying to identify non-GM hybrids that they can sustain climate change, and they're having all these international multi-location varietal trials of hybrids that can sustain climate change. That the whole hybrid program that they have there, I think the industry is responding. Now, if you ask me if they're responding fast enough, I'm not the one to judge now. I think that we all are in the industry and we recognize how fast we should be going, and sometimes we just stall. But there are many issues, and amongst them, it is climate change. It is access to water. It is water, I would say, treatment, and how we process things with water. But I think also we have seen great advancement in technology, and those challenges are also opportunities for innovation and for change.
Because I don't have nothing extra to add. The one extra risk is that the people, in order to survive on this situation, they can start to speculate, they can start to reduce the quality, they can start to change. That is, if you like, a consequence. But the important is this fact is that the climate, that is not only for coffee, is a general problem for all the humanity. Not we can say a less interesting challenge, but is anyway still a challenge when we are talking about we can say all the community. One risk that we have in Italy is the low price of the cup of coffee. The price for a cup of coffee in Italy is so cheap that the people they are anyway losing, if you like, the interest in investing. And then for investing, it's in mean education, in people, in buying the right coffee, buy the right equipment, because and also this is really putting the risk of all the espresso Italiano, because the first trick for any kind of food is the material. A good material, you can have a nice recipe. If the raw material is bad, you can do whatever you want. You can have the best machine, the best grind, the best barista. Everything started with the quality in the beans. And then to have the right quality in the cup, you have to pay the right price. In Italy, one of our challenge is that there is not appreciation related with the price. You pay the same value, 90 cents, for, doesn't matter, it's a gamble, the cup you get. You can get the best coffee or the worst, you pay always. You cannot choose the kind of quality, because somebody choose for you and then you pay. Spaghetti, it depends on the restaurant, you can get the best or the worst. Espresso, you pay always similar price, you get always a different cups.
That is really interesting, but do you think that's a uniquely Italian issue?
That is a very interesting conversation, because if you put a farmer in this conversation, they will say, you know what, you're actually paying €1 for like 25 grams of ml, which is like 15 grams of coffee, or 7 grams of coffee. Yeah, 7 grams of coffee, especially in Italy. You pay for 7 grams of coffee for €1. The farmer is paid $1 per pound. So if someone else comes to this conversation from a different perspective, will say, okay, that is a lot of money. We consider it not being a lot of money. So this is what I was talking before. Like, we need to reevaluate how value is distributed along value chain. What is the consumer paying to the bar? How much the barista is making? How much the service is making? How much the roaster is making? And I'm not saying we need to fundamentally change that, but I think we need to distribute also the risk, and we need to find a way where people are appreciated, not only monetary wise, but non-monetary wise, on the value that they bring to that cup of coffee that the consumer enjoys at the end. And it might be in Italy, it's really unique, but I do think that culture in Italy is also changing. Like, we have seen bright examples from people all over Italy, Gardelli, the Sanapos of the world, that they're bringing a new perspective into the specialty coffee market in Italy, and the specialty coffee market starts to grow, and we see like new passionate for specialty coffee players coming and trying to change that perception that an espresso needs to be like €1. But if we consider that Italy provided espresso to the rest of the world, because there is a conversation now about the Italian espresso and UNESCO, but Italy provided espresso to the rest of the world, and all the rest of the world is making espresso-based beverages today, and they are charging like literally 5-10 times more than you get in Italy. That is a really interesting fact.
Yannis, Luigi, it was an honor and a pleasure to get to interview you.
Thank you very much for having us, and I'm looking forward to having a cup of Italian espresso very time soon with all of you. And thank you for the invitation. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Grazie per l'invito.
And you, dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I really did. And tune in next week when we will talk to our coffee expert Benjamin about his time in Costa Rica. And until then, drink loads of great coffee and have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye!